Welcome to the Take the Journey podcast, where we choose the path to peace and wholeness. I am your host, Cheryl Marion. I want to welcome you to our continued discussion on moving on. Now, the last time we talked, we discussed defining what moving on meant. And I also posted a special segment discussing the difference between moving on and getting over something, with the understanding that they are two totally different things. Today, I want to talk about the process of moving on. How does that happen? Because it's one of those things that you hear people say that you should do. You've got to move on. You've got to move on. And while that is true in a lot of cases, the problem is not accepting that we need to move on. It becomes a matter of, well, how do I move on? How do I do that? So first things first is we need to accept that hold your seats. We need to accept that we don't have it all together. Yes, I said it. We need to accept the fact that we don't have it all together. Because if we think that we have everything in place and we are so awesome, we are so amazing, we are so perfect. And I want to pay more attention to the word perfect. And I'm not saying it's wrong to think that you're amazing, but when we think so much of ourselves to the point where it's difficult for us to accept that there are things in our lives that need to be fixed and need to be changed, then it really blocks us from being able to move on, from that good to great. We can be really good at something, but how do we become great? Well, we improve those other areas of our lives that aren't so good. It does not make us bad people. It does not make us horrible, unaccomplished individuals. It doesn't mean that. It just means that we need to work on some things. Think about a nice, beautiful home and imagine that home in a mess. Does that mean that it's not a beautiful home? No, it doesn't mean that at all. What it does mean is that there is an area that needs to be addressed. It needs to be cleaned up. The central air may be working great. The heating system is fine. The windows are brand new. I mean, beautiful furniture all throughout the house. But if it is in a mess, then you don't really get to appreciate the true beauty of that home. And that's what we are. We are homes. Like God calls us his temple. We are where he lives. Okay, so if we are just going through life pleased with where we are because we've accomplished a lot, and I hear you, we have gotten our degrees, we've moved up on our jobs, our bank account looks different, we're living in homes that we thought we'd never live in. We've gotten away from certain habits and people that we thought we'd never be able to let go of. And that's fine. That's fine. But just think that all the progress that you made has brought you to this point to accept, okay, so in order for me to get ahead and succeed and thrive even more, I need to accept that there are some areas in my life that I need to fix, that I need to change. I don't have it all together. There are some things that I do need to address. And I love Paul. Paul in Philippians 3, verses 12 and 13. He goes through a list of, all of the things that he has accomplished. And he is just, oh my gosh, he is just fabulous. He is God's chosen person for that particular time to spread the good news of God. And yeah, we would come to think that, wow, Paul was just this perfect, immaculate human being. But Paul is very clear in those verses in 12 and 13 in Philippians 3, when he says, even in all that I have accomplished, there are some things that I have not attained. There are some things that I have not seen come to fruition the way I want it to. Does that take away from Paul's success? Does that take away from Paul's accomplishments? Does that take away from the progress that Paul has made in his life? No. But what it does mean is that he acknowledges that in order for him to go further, he first needs to accept, I don't have it all the way that I want to have it. And now before I can move on, there we go again, before I can move on and get ahead from where I currently am, I need to embrace the truth that I have some things in my life that I need to change. And there is nothing wrong with that. It does not make us terrible people. It does not put a stain on what we have accomplished with our lives. It doesn't. Still celebrate yourself. Celebrate that degree. Celebrate starting that business. Celebrate God healing your body. Celebrate you getting away from that abusive and crazy relationship that brought no joy or anything of significance to your life. Continue to celebrate those victories. They have not and will never lose meaning because you choose to address other areas in your life. Okay? I need you to understand that. It does not put a damper on what you have already done with your life, with what you have already succeeded to see happen for yourself. Continue to celebrate you, but don't get so caught up in the celebration that we lose sight of the different parts of our existence that needs to be addressed. Okay? And that's just one of the things that we need to do if we're talking about truly moving on, because there's some other parts that we're going to dive into. But before we can really embrace, some more of the footwork that we have to do in order to move on, we need to accept that there are some things that we need to fix. Because if you think about it, everyone has that one area, even if it's just that one area that they're like, man, if I can fix that, I'd be set. I'd be good. And the truth is, even after you fix that one area, if you're truly a person of moving on and progressing, you're going to find something else you need to work on. That's why we call this Take the Journey. Life is a journey. Everything about self-exploration and self-discovery is a journey. And although in the journey of life, there is no destination until we leave this earth, there are always higher steps to climb up. And oh, what a joy it is when we feel our feet moving up in the experience of life. But we cannot move on until we realize that there are some things in our lives that we need to fix, that we need to address, and that we need to change. And the only way that we are able to do that is first acknowledging that there are some things that need to be fixed and changed. And the good thing is you don't do this by yourself. You do not do this by yourself. You ask God to help you every step of the way. You ask God to give you the strength to handle those things which you have just hidden in the back of your mind that you wanted to pretend does not exist. It's time to address it. It's time to go through the closets of your heart that you haven't visited in so long, and it's just stuff after stuff piling up in that area. God can help you navigate those spaces to bring you to a place of not only embracing that we don't have it all together, but also giving you the strength, the wisdom, and the wherewithal to make the appropriate changes necessary to continue seeing your life moving forward. All right? Now, as a gift to you, I want you to click on the link in the description. I have a thought pattern cheat sheet. And what this is, it's a list of thought patterns that we engage in that most times holds us back from accepting certain truths that hinder us from moving forward. If you're anything like me, I've checked off a few. I'm like, yes, oh my gosh, I do think like that. Oh my gosh, I do look at things like that. Okay. Take a look at it. And what I also added in that thought pattern cheat sheet were some scriptures to help support you as you navigate relearning how to manage those thoughts so that it's not hindering you. It's not holding you back, because 2021 is all about moving forward. It's all about forward movement. And I am so here for it, and I am here for you. Okay. Well, this is Cheryl Marion. I am signing off from the Take the Journey podcast, where we always choose the path to peace and wholeness. God bless you.